The Shooter Shack. Welcome to the Shooter Shack. I shoot at like 80%. Where the hell they do that at? Where the hell they do that at? Welcome to the Shooter Shack. The Shooter Shack. I help you make your money back. Like where they do that at? I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. I'll make your money back. I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. Like where the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week kicks off March Madness, the craziest time in college sports. We have day games going on, so that means cold beers away from the office, and it means getting your brackets filled out for a potential winning bracket. But each and every year, we seem to see some big upsets, but rarely do we see a number one seed get knocked off in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So hey, I'm going to break down each number one seed in each bracket, and we're going to talk about some teams that could be potential roadblocks on their journey to the national title. All right, guys, the number one team that we're going to talk about is Villanova. They won last year's tournament on that three-point buzzer beater to break the hearts of North Carolina. They've been awarded this year with the number one seed overall in the tournament. They are 31-3 on the season, but they got some tough teams in their bracket. The teams they got to worry about are Duke, Baylor, and Wisconsin. In my opinion, are the three teams that could give them some trouble in the East bracket. Number two, we got North Carolina. They were on the other end of that three ball by Villanova last year, and the Tar Heels lost that national championship ring that they thought they had. They finished the year at 27-7. That is the worst record of all the number one seeds in this year's tournament, but they also have a tough bracket. And teams they should be worried about are Kentucky, of course. That would be the obvious. But they got to look out for UCLA. They have to look out for Butler. And let's not forget Cincinnati in the South bracket. And number three, we got the Kansas Jayhawks. They ripped through their season with a 28-4 record. The Jayhawks have now been a number one seed in 7 of the 14 years that Bill Self has been in charge at Kansas. The teams they got to watch out for are Oregon, Michigan, and Iowa State in the Midwest bracket. And the final number one seed that we got our eyes on for this year's tournament is the Gonzaga Bulldogs. They ripped through the year with a 32-1 record coming out of the West Coast Conference. And despite having several deep runs and 19 straight appearances in the NCAA tournament, the Gonzaga Bulldogs have yet to get to a Final Four. There's a few teams in their bracket that could crush their dreams again this year. The first one is going to be Arizona. That's probably the most obvious. And then you got to watch out for Notre Dame, Florida State, and Xavier is my Cinderella pick in the West region. There are over 120 Canadians participating in NCAA Division I basketball this year, and that number seems to get bigger and bigger each year with the sport growing popularity north of the U.S. border. But in my eyes, there is 4 Canadians that you got to watch out for in this year's tournament, and we're going to start it off with number 4. And the number 4 player out of Canada you got to watch in this year's NCAA tournament is Justin Jackson. The 6'7" freshman forward plays for Maryland. The Toronto-born player had a great year in the Big Ten, averaging over 10 points a game. But if he stays in college, this guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. Number 3, we got Trey Bell Haynes, the 6'2" junior guard from Toronto. He plays for Vermont, and he was just named American East Conference Player of the Year. Watch out for Trey Bell to make a splash. Number 2, we got Dylan Ennis. He is the 6'2" senior guard for the Oregon Ducks, and he is the brother of former Syracuse stud Tyler Ennis, who is now with the Lakers. Dylan is from Brampton, same hometown as NBA champ Tristan Thompson and former first overall pick Anthony Bennett. And the number 1 Canadian basketball player in the NCAA tournament you got to watch out for this bracket, I'm telling you, his name is Dylan Brooks. He's also with the Oregon Ducks. He is a 6'7" junior forward from Mississauga, and he was just recently named Pac-12 Player of the Year ahead of Lonzo Ball. If the Ducks want to get deep into this tournament, he's going to have to elevate his game and lead the Ducks on the court. All right, and in everyone's favorite new segment, we have the Shooter Shack's Donkey of the Week. And this week's special little donkey award goes to everyone in Toronto's least favorite two-bagger. This week, it is Ruffin Odor from Team Venezuela doing the world-famous bat flip that he had such a problem with Jose Bautista doing it against him a couple years ago in the playoffs. Listen, little fella, if you're going to flip that bat, make sure you at least put the ball into the second deck, you little munchkin. The same guy chirping Jose is the same guy doing the bat flip, but your ball didn't exit the park, you little goof. You are the Shooter Shack's donkey of the week. Well, for the Shooter faithful at home, we have another special guest joining us today, Paul Ranger, NHL veteran defenseman. He spent over 7 years in the league. He played with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Paul, thanks a lot for joining us. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing really well, thanks. How are you?
Hey, Range, I'm doing great, buddy. Thanks for asking. Now, back in 2006 with the Tampa Bay Lightning, you put up 6 points in 5 playoff games. Can you talk about that experience for us, Range?
That was pretty amazing, to say the least. I think I was just playing really well at the time, so I kind of got lucky with the points. But scoring a couple goals in the playoff series was pretty huge for me in my career at that time. And I think it was just fun overall. It was just fun hockey.
Well, there's no question about that, Range. Playoff time, it brings out the best in most of us, and it brings out the worst in a few of us. But hey, going by your Instagram account, it looks like you enjoy to do some deep sea fishing. Was that one of the perks of playing down in Tampa Bay?
That's where I developed my second love for fishing. It's called saltwater. It's an amazing place to go fishing. There's tons of opportunities for game fishing, sport fishing there. We made some really good buddies in the fishing world there, captains, and I even guided a little bit down there. I got that good at it, I guess. That was fortunate enough that I could take a few people out that I knew and show them kind of how to do it. And I'm sure I'll send you a couple pics. Maybe you can put them up there. There's tarpon and snook and redfish and all these kinds of things. Some guys might know what I'm talking about. Some guys might not. But just picture you're reeling in 100+ pound fish every time. It's awesome.
Well, that sounds awesome, Range. Nothing better than being out on the boat with the fellas, reeling in a couple big ones. We'll make sure to show the viewers at home what kind of fish you're talking about, and we'll post a couple pics for you. But now, Range, growing up with the Toronto Maple Leafs, your favorite team, being a Whippy boy, and was it a dream come true signing with the Leafs in 2014?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say that it was a dream come true for me simply because at that time in my career I needed a lot of support from my family and friends, and it was the perfect opportunity from being from Whitby that I had that close by. And but I have to admit that Toronto was not my favorite team growing up. It was the New York Rangers. Don't know why. Just started when I was a kid. My favorite player was Mark Messier, and he was with the Rangers at the time. I just loved the Moose, and I guess it probably because of the last name too, but it just developed that way somehow.
Well, good old Mark Messier, the Moose, one of the greatest leaders of all time and a great guy to look up to as a young fella. Now, Range, I got to ask you, playing over 320 games in the NHL, is there one forward that stands out to you as the toughest to stop one-on-one? Who would that be and why?
Well, that's an easy one for me. I've played a lot of guys one-on-one before, and I would say that there's two different scenarios. So in the corner, I would say Joe Thornton because he's so big. You just can't reach around him, get the puck from him or move him. But one-on-one, coming down the ice, I'd have to say Crosby. And I can tell you these answers now because I'm retired. If I was playing, there's no way in heck I would tell you that.
Well, we can't thank you enough for that little piece of information there that you're no longer playing. You're letting us know the ins and outs of the league, and we can't thank you enough, Range. But listen, April 22nd, it's a big day for you and your family at the Royal Ashburn Golf Club. You will be inducted into the Whitby Sports Hall of Fame alongside of some great legends. How does it feel to be inducted and rewarded by your hometown?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. When I got the call, I had an inkling that something was going on. It was an unknown number, and I heard some rumors. So, it was sort of expected that I may get a call, and once I got it, I was honored. It's very cool when you go into the Iroquois Park Sports Complex, where we've both played in our lives, and you see those NHL jerseys hanging up in the rafters. It's pretty cool, and I can't wait to have mine hung up there. It's quite an honor.
Well, hey, man, it must be an absolute honor to have your name up beside some legends in Whitby like Adam Foote, Gary Roberts, Joe Newendike, the Primo brothers. Your name's going to look pretty good up beside those guys, Rach. But hey, we cannot thank you enough for stopping by the Shack to say hello today. But before we let you go, we got to run you through the last minute of play. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. We're going to fire some questions at you, rapid fire style. If you want to answer them, make them quick. And if you don't, all you got to do is say pass. You good with that, buddy?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, well, the last minute of play is about to get buzzing. We're going to start that clock right now. Lidstrom or Bobby Orr?
Bobby Orr.
Pre-game meal?
Oh, chicken soup, salad, pasta and chicken.
Favorite music?
Country.
Favorite teammate ever?
Colton Orr.
Loudest rink in the NHL?
Montreal.
Bud Light or Coors Light?
Oh, Bud Light. I call them Bluefish.
Le Cavier or St. Louis?
Oh, that's way too hard. I'll pass. Like them both.
And the last question we got for you, Range, Carlson or Phaneuf?
Carlson.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough. It's been another great episode down here at the Shooter Shack. March Madness is happening. It's buzzing. We cannot thank Paul Ranger enough for stopping by the Shack. I got to remind all the viewers out there to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's right below on the bottom of the page. March Madness is happening, so head over to theshootershack.ca and grab yourself an investment package and let me help you make a few bucks. But with that being said, we got a couple key words from a few of our sponsors.
Now, Shooter, as you know, hockey players losing jibs all the time. One of my buddies actually just lost one of his chiclets, so I've got to ask you, is there someone you know that can help him out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, there is. Dr. Jay Petroff at Maple Ridge Dental. He is the top dentist in Ontario. You call the number on the bottom of the screen and book an appointment today. And if you want to have a smile like the Shooter, make sure you go see Dr. J.
Now, Shooter, I've been thinking about selling my house. Do you know anyone who can help me out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, I sure do. When looking to buy or sell, call Liz and Mel. Liz McKinnon and Melanie Schott with Remax Rouge River are here for all your buying and selling needs. Mention the name Shooter for free staging when selling your home. Hey, that's a $2,500 discount right here from Uncle Shooter. But give them a call today at 289-314-9110 and visit their website at lizandmel.com. And Patty, while we're here down in the Shack, I want to thank a few of our other sponsors. The first one, Wilkins the Barber, the #1 barber in the GTA. And when it comes to the one you want with the clippers, the one you want with the baby powder on the brush, he's the one you gotta have. He keeps this beard looking fresh and looking sharp, and don't think for a second he can't do the same for you. The Royal Oak Whippy North at Garden in Taunton. This is one of my favorite sponsors down here at the Shack. Pop in and say hello today and let them know the Shooter sent you for a 10% discount off your bill. MyCustomSportsChair.com, a wonderful product. Custom sports chairs, they're great gifts for anybody of all ages. Go ahead to MyCustomSportsChairs.ca and put an order in and use the promo code SHOOTER for free shipping anywhere in North America. How about our friends over at JC Storage Solutions? They've always solved all your storage needs. They supply, deliver, install, and engineer all industrial pallet racking and steel shelving systems. Give them a shout today at 416-565-1196. Have you been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI? Perhaps you got a past that you would like a pardon for. Well, HW Legal Support Services can help. Give them a shout today for a free consultation at 647-460-3722.